This Knicks-Wizards trade is centered around Bradley Beal. The New York Knicks have been in need of a superstar for many NBA seasons now. They were able to make the postseason as the fourth. He has finished in the top 2 in the league in each of the last 2 seasons. Beal has said that he is not interested in a trade out of Washington, but the Wizards could look to go into full rebuild mode. Russell Westbrook was sent to the Los Angeles Lakers, and it was assumed that Beal could be next on the list. Spencer Dinwiddie joining the team could help in the short term, but there is not nearly enough talent to compete at a high enough level to contend. If Beal is truly up for grabs, there will be plenty of interested teams. The Knicks should be at the top of the list. Here is what a potential deal between the Knicks and Wizards could look like in the offseason. New York Knicks receive Bradley Beal, Anthony Gill. Washington Wizards receive Evan Fournier, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley, Kevin Knox II, 2022 first-round pick, 2023 first-round pick, via Dallas, 2024 first-round pick, 2026 first-round pick. Bradley Beal would not be a cheap piece for the New York Knicks to acquire, but they finally have some assets they would be able to send in a deal. The Knicks have been in need of that superstar since Carmelo Anthony left, and they can land it here. New York would hang on to both Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett in this NBA trade scenario, while also still having Kemba Walker in the fold. The return would begin with Evan Fournier, who recently signed a 4-year deal in free agency with the Knicks. Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickley would also be in the mix, along with Kevin Knox. The Wizards would be able to get plenty of young talent along with a plethora of draft picks for their star. The Wizards must be careful with how they are approaching the situation with Beal. Russell Westbrook asked out of Houston when it was clear James Harden no longer wanted to be part of the Rockets organization. Was there some level of thought about Beal wanting to follow in that path? At some point, the Wizards need to show they can win. Spencer Dinwiddie is not going to be a piece that can help in that regard, especially coming off an ACL tear. Let's take a closer look and see how this NBA trade scenario centered around Bradley Beal would impact both the New York Knicks and Washington Wizards. Will bring explosiveness immediately on the offensive end of the floor. He is a legitimate scorer at all 3 levels and can lead a team on both ends of the floor. This is a player the Knicks need if they want to compete in the Eastern Conference right away. Would this trade make sense for the Washington Wizards? Even after a postseason appearance, there is no belief that the Washington Wizards are going to be competitors moving forward. They were able to ride their dynamic duo of Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook to the 8th seed in the East, but that has quickly been split up. Westbrook is now in Los Angeles and Beal could be next on the trading block. Beal has shown great loyalty to the franchise that drafted him during his career. He has not requested a trade, even through the down years in DC. This is a chance for Washington to finally go all in on a rebuild. As long as Beal was on the roster, the team had some hope of finding a path to the postseason. That is what they did this year in a weak Eastern Conference. When looking at the return, this deal should be a no-brainer for Washington. They are getting both young players to rely on along with a ton of draft capital over the next 4 years. Washington is not going to compete, even with Beal in the lineup over the next few years. This means that trading him shows no harm, and that should be first on their priority list this offseason. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.